We have caught major internet companies in England, Australia, Germany, the United States blocking Infowars.com, YouTube, Google, Yahoo. They all admit for 3 years they are censoring for communist China. You understand? Now they're doing it on a mass scale in the U.S., England, Canada, and Europe. Are we going to put up with communist Chinese style or worse censorship of the sites? It's happening. Do you understand? Comcast, Time Warner, others are doing it right here in Texas. Comcast is doing it in New York. The two major companies have announced 2 weeks ago in Canada that they're going to decide what sites you visit, and they're only going to allow a couple thousand sites. And so your computer becomes a glorified cable system with only a few thousand websites that you can visit. That Comcast just got told Friday that they have to stop doing what they're doing, filtering out the majority of the web, and they are saying they're going to disregard the FCC. They don't have that regulatory power. Now, we told you years ago this was going to happen because we could read the minutes of the Internet 2 meetings they've had in London, that they've had in Tokyo, that they've had in Austin, Texas, they've had in Chicago. And they always announce at the beginning that, quote, the Internet is dead. And they say they're going to not fix the old hubs of the Internet. They're going to let those degrade. They say that's their right to do that. We need listeners to understand this is happening. This is coming down now. This has been declared. 60+% down in newspaper readership. TV's plunging in ratings. The mainstream media is fully discredited. They're falling apart. They've got to do this, folks. They are coming. They're chopping up the web right now. You better tell your whole email list about the censorship. Internet 2 told us the plan 7 years ago. We've got all the major pundits calling for my arrest for the things I say, because we're hurting these people, because we do have power, because of you, the listeners, taking action. We're walking point. We need your support. So we're now at the point where you won't be able to get to Infowars.com and PrisonPlanet.com. Now is the time for people to go absolutely. They are moving against us now. Everybody has to stick together on this. They are moving against us because we're on the verge of exposing their state-sponsored terrorism, their global taxes, all of it. Ladies and gentlemen, it's happening now. They're blocking our videos. YouTube, we know, is messing with the counters. We know that Google would change our hits, or when we were getting a video that might be having 500,000 hits a day, they would just block it for a few weeks or erase it. These sites are scaring the globalists to death. They are shutting us down. They are censoring us everywhere. They're not going to be there forever, folks, if they're able to win. They're moving now. We better get the word out while we've still got some punch. I mean, every one of you can't count. Look, you can forget Congress. You can forget the executive. It's all bought and paid for. We've got to take the country and the world back at the grassroots. They're moving to block us, and they're moving to block us because we are having an effect. Here's what we do to counter the British government. Censoring PrisonPlanet.com and Infowars.com. We use YouTube as a weapon, and no doubt they will censor our hit counters as well. But we do this as another example for everybody. And you take this video and you send it out to everybody you know, you pass it on to everyone, and then we show everyone the censorship that's going on, not just on MySpace, not just with the government filters now on websites, all the things that are admitted and documented, worse than communist China. You then will witness YouTube, if it follows past operations, when this viral video hits about 200,000, and we've had videos that have done that in one day on YouTube, and then suddenly the counter just stops and adds a couple hundred a day. I mean, you'll have a video with 300,000 views, and it'll have 20,000 comments. That's impossible. Or you'll have 40-something thousand ratings and only 200,000 views. That ratio's not right. But we caught Google censoring us, both in text, and they've had to admit it, and with videos. We need you to make a serious stink about this and get this out to everyone to then illustrate the censorship they're engaging in. You'll have 40-something thousand ratings and only 200,000 views. That ratio's not right. But we caught Google censoring us, both in text, and they've had to admit it, and with videos. We've had a whole bunch of videos that were #1. Not anymore. They just took the hit counters off Google video. We need you to make a serious stink about this and get this out to everyone to then illustrate the censorship they're engaging in. Google and YouTube, which of course YouTube's owned by Google, Yahoo and others, admittedly for close to 3 years, have been censoring things for the Communist Chinese government. Now they're using those same censor systems here in the United States, in Canada, in England, and there's a whole cocktail of other ways they're censoring. But again, the British government is censoring right now. They are censoring PrisonPlanet.com and our other family of websites because we're so effective. We pushed it out. Our listeners pushed it out. Got Keith Olbermann to cover last week the fact that Cheney was planning stage terror attacks and killing our own troops. This is important news. We're risking our lives. And for our safety, we need to continue to be prominent. They're bringing in tyranny, ladies and gentlemen. The mainstream media is dying. They're panicking. The propaganda arms are losing all their credibility. So now they're engaging in communist Chinese-style Orwellian censorship. Paul Watson, we need everybody to get this video out.